Good evening. Welcome to the Lone Star Dowsers. I'm Mary Lindsay Wilson, and we have our special guest tonight, Katherine Ashby. We are so glad that you're here. Tonight, we're going to talk about the year of the water, and Katherine's going to share her Feng Shui wisdom with us. Luckily, meet in person and out there to all you guys on Zoom. So this is an exciting year. There's a lot of transition with the water rabbit, and Katherine's going to explain what that means in terms of opportunities, jobs, banking, healthcare, romance, and more. And she's also going to share her discoveries in the world of energies and the best dowsing practices, and introduce you to 2 new services to help us prosper for the next 20 years. We're going to activate our superpowers with balancing numbers. So I'll tell you a little bit about Katherine. She has been our program director for the Lone Star Dowsers for many, many, many years, and we appreciate her service so very much. She passed the baton on to me a couple of years ago, and I am appreciating what she has done even more than I realized at the time. So Katherine Ashby has years of experience in classical and Western Feng Shui. She specializes in residential Feng Shui and has taught Feng Shui classes at MD Anderson Cancer Center, the University of Houston, Houston Community College, and Brenham Independent School Districts, as well as many real estate and construction offices. Her consulting practices include Feng Shui, dowsing and clearings, creative dowsing to answer personal questions, prayers, and blessings. Bazi, which is also known as the 4 Pillars of Destiny astrology, which is something new that I hope to learn more about tonight. And she does the dowsing for numbers to balance challenging issues. So welcome, Katherine.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Welcome all of you to the Year of the Rabbit, also known as the Year of the Cat. So in some cultures, they call it the cat. I'm going to talk about the rabbit tonight. This is the same animal. We know it's a little bit more gentle than a tiger. Last year was the tiger year, and we survived, those of us who are here. And this year is a more gentle and harmonious energy. So
I know we're all happy to hear that.
Oh my God, thank you. Yes. So when we talk about Feng Shui, or we talk about Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, or Chinese astrology, it's all based on the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And so everything we're talking about tonight, instead of talking about the planets, we're going to talk in terms of those elements. But it's the same energy, because those elements simply describe, in the Chinese ancient way of thinking, what was happening in the heavens. So the Chinese are talking about a 60-year cycle. So this particular year that we're going into, well, that we've already gone into, beginning on the Chinese solar calendar, it began on February the 4th at 10:44 a.m. So that's for the purposes of Feng Shui and for the purposes of Chinese astrology for the living. We do have Feng Shui for the dead and astrology for the dead. I don't practice that kind. That's Yin Feng Shui. I'm going to talk about Yang Feng Shui today. And everything is based on the interaction between all of the elements. So last year was a water year. It was the year of the water tiger in 2022. And this year is also a water year. It's the year of the water rabbit. And the water is yin this year, which is gentle and feminine in nature. And last year it was yang and aggressive in nature. So we have the image of the 2 characters that form the Year of the Rabbit characters for the Chinese culture is really one drop of water, just one, on top of wood. And this particular wood that we're talking about is not a giant redwood forest. It's one flower. So it's a very gentle and sweet and so harmonious in its energy. So it's just a little drop of water on a flower. How beautiful is that?
We need that.
We need that. We need that, right? And also, the rabbit happens to be one of the peach blossom animals. So peach blossom means romance and academic life. So not only is this a gentle year where we can cuddle the little baby rabbit, cat in our lap rather than putting a tiger there, we can also more romance in our life. There will be more flirting. There will be more romancing.
And this is for everybody. Not just for rabbits.
No, not just rabbits. But I do have that I will send to Mary, and it will give you a couple of sentences for each. Peach blossoms, okay, because in the Chinese system, what has a front has a back, and the bigger the front, the bigger the back. So everything's nice and rosy looking out there, but underneath there's a shadow side, just like there is in everything. And it means that there are secrets. There are secrets. Now,
does that mean the secrets are going to be revealed?
Well, yes, they will be revealed. And the reason they will be revealed is because this is the transition year between period 8, which is a 20-year period that we go through, a type of energy called period 8, and into 2024, which is period 9. So it's a huge 20-year transition that we're going into. So it's that period 8 was all about young men moving forward. And the energy in the was very strong, and it was about wealth and knowledge and self-cultivation. But now the next 20 years in period 9, the 9 fire energy represents the young woman. So women will, for the next 20 years, well, 21 years, because we still have 1 year left in period 8, but the period 9 energy, there's no stopping it. It is not polite. It does not have boundaries. It's already started. It's already edged into the period 8 last year of period 8. So for all practical purposes, yes, I'm talking about we're still in period 8 this year in 2020. Actually, all the energies from period 9 and those stars that 9
feminine.
Absolutely.
Because I personally believe, and I think it's not new, but that, determined women are the ones that will change the world.
Absolutely. Yes. And that is so true. So we've got the planets, the stars, the moon, and the sun, doing some changes. And we on Earth receive all of those energies and all of those changes. And we are called spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally to integrate all of this new energy that's coming in. And I will tell you, because it is a water year and it's a yin water year, the feminine water, well, it's going to be quite emotional. So
hold on.
hold on to, yes, hold on. Well, you don't have to. Go ahead and cry. Go ahead and let it out. But I am going to talk about how necessary it is to take care of ourselves. Extreme self-care, especially emotionally. Because as we go into the strong, strong fire energy, that energy literally brings transformation by fire. Okay, that's quite remarkable. So we haven't had period 9, of course, for a long, long time. 180 years or something. I don't know.
Wow.
But every 20 years, we'll have a transition from one period to the next. I've been doing Feng Shui long enough that this is my 3rd 20-year transition. So I started doing classical Feng Shui in the year 2000 during period 7. And then in 2004, we went from period 7 to period 8. And so for the last 20 years, we've been talking about period 8, and wherever the 8 star was in your life, it would bring happiness and money and relationships and health and fame and all kinds of good things. But right now, that's going away and really, really fading away. And the 8 star, wherever it is in your home, it still is a benevolent star. It doesn't turn evil like some stars do. Some energies have quite a biting type of energy about them when they're not in power, when they're not in season. But the 9 energy is, it goes in all directions. So where the 8 energy was kind of like this, it built very slowly. Well, okay, here's a depiction of the 9 energy. I have to put my notes down. Sudden movements and in every direction at once. So it has no boundaries. So this is the issue.
Does that mean we can expect like a lot of sudden abrupt changes?
Yes, abrupt change. That's a good word for it. But it'll be fun. We will be happy. We might have emotion and we need to just let it out and practice our self-care. Well, the 9 is the happiness star, and it is the future prosperity star, which in 2024, it will no longer be the future prosperity star. It will be the current prosperity star. So it will bring prosperity, but because it's also fire, it also will bring light on everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it will expand everything. It's a star that expands everything. So hopefully in your home, when we talk about Feng Shui, it's in a good spot and you've got some good energy that we calculate mathematically depending on the orientation on the compass and the building date or the move-in date into your home. So that gives us what we call a flying star chart or an energy chart for your house. So, so transformation will come in every area of our lives. So get your spaghetti ready right now. Get a pot of boiling water ready because everything will change because period 8, it was the mountain, is still the mountain. In my work, I'm no longer talking about period 8. I'm talking about period 9. And so when I go and do a consultation, I'm saying it is, you know, the 8 was, it's not, but it really is, it's still there. But, excuse me, but we will have period 9. And if you see the yin and yang lines that forms the trigram for period 9, it's empty in the middle. So it's like emptiness in the middle. And so things on the outside will seem one way, but on the inside, they will be completely different or simply not there. So our money is going that way. We're going to have, you know, they're trying to make us have invisible money, right? Digital coins, cryptocurrencies and things like that. Everything is trying to go with the fire energy that's empty in the middle. So we want to make sure that we as humans are not empty in the middle, that we will be happy, that we will have abundance, but it will all be based on what's true and real, which is the infinite energy, which is spiritual energy. So really, transformation by fire is a spiritual time. So we're all getting more clear on who we are, what we want to do, and where we're going. And we're going to need our friends. But thankfully, this year, we will have lots of opportunities for entertaining. We're getting together again for the first time. This is our first meeting in 2023. No, it's our second meeting. Oh, that's right. I'm on the Chinese calendar, which starts in February. So
this is the first one for the Chinese Lunar New Year.
That's true. Yes, that's true. So another thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be working from home more. For the last few years, the employers have learned that people can work at home and get things done. And they don't have to have all this real estate sitting there empty while people are working at home. So we're going to see more people working at home even more this year and even more in the next 10 years to come. And that's good. It's fun. But the problem is when you have fire, there are no boundaries. So when you don't have a physical office to go to, the boss can contact you, especially 24/7, because we'll be doing international work more and more. And so no boundaries there. So it's going to be very, very important for the natural human being that we are. And my definition of a human being is a co-creator. We're, infinitely creative, and we're not human resources to be, abused. We do need our boundaries. We do need to take care of ourselves. So this year, one of the things is to really take extreme self-care of yourself. So there's going to be a lot of things, especially that you're going to need to put a boundary on, like your use of technology. So there needs to be technology breaks during the day, like really every 20 minutes. And if you have a cat, they will help you take these breaks. Because if I ignore my little kitty, Emily, long enough, she will remind me, okay, it's time for belly rubs, it's time for a walk, whatever. So we need to do that. Period 9 is also about fulfillment, but it's about having not just the wealth, but true abundance. And we are going to be responsible for recreating what that means in the world. One of the things that we need to think about is that there really has been a discovery that the heart does have brain cells. And the brain cells in the heart are really connected to several parts in the brain. And mostly they're the parts on the right-hand side of the brain. And we do know from studies with dowsers that when you pick up a pendulum and start dowsing, that all parts of the brain are lit up. So much so that even yogis that meditate for 20 years don't get that kind of brain activity when they're meditating. So we really are creating on all sides of the brain. We're on fire. We're fired up, we're lit up, we're inspired. Inspiration and Holy Spirit are two words that are also connected with period 9, which is a very strong energy even this year. We're going to need to go out and actually do sky gazing. We've heard of forest bathing, and we do need that for balancing and getting grounded from all this technology that we're connected to a lot of hours during the day. But we also need to gaze at the sky, because the sky, this is something that I learned about just energy and humans, is that the sky, because it includes the light from the stars that actually may not even still be there, but the light is just now getting to us. It has a kind of a time warp going on, and it connects us to past, present, and future. And so we do need to sky gaze.
And does that need to be at night or during the day, or does it matter?
No, it can be both. Because looking at, remember when we were kids and we would play and look at the clouds and go, oh, I see a rabbit, I see a duck, or, you know, yeah.
Well, and I know that sun gazing is really beneficial for people.
Yes. Well, so what it does is it connects, it makes you more creative. And it's going to be a problem solving technique for us that we're going to want to capitalize on.
So when you hit a glitch, when you're working, go outside.
Yes.
Sky gaze.
Yes.
Go lay in the grass and look up.
You don't have to be intentional.
Sit on the bench.
You just look up there. And it really is important to do that. Other things that we need to do, we really need to connect with each other. We really do. The natural human is being, downplayed, and we're being called more and more to use more and more technology. And so we still want to connect and gaze into each other's eyes, because there's a world inside there, an infinite world. And we get energy from each other. So that's important. We really need to do that. Also, another thing that I learned about energy is that shadows have an energy, and that a shadow from a natural thing like a tree has really good energy. But if that shadow falls on something man-made, the benefits of sitting in that shadow are gone. So the shadow actually needs to fall on something natural for you to benefit from the shadow.
So what do the city dwellers do?
Well, if the sun is over here and I'm at breakfast with you, let's say at Empire Cafe on the patio or whatever, you're a natural being last time I checked.
Mm-hmm.
So your shadow would be falling on me. You're a natural being. It's a natural shadow falling on my natural being. I'm getting bathed in your glory.
Okay. But
yeah,
if there's a patio cover, I mean, then the patio creates the shadow. So you kind of miss out.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, there are things that you can do. So even the shadow, you can see, this is my hand, and I'll close my hand. You can see the shadow of my fingers on my hand. I'm giving myself a treatment right now. Yeah. So even if you're far away from somebody and the source of the light is not natural, but if I were to make a shadow with my hand towards Jan, because I'm a natural being and my energy is good, then she can receive the energy. It's just so amazing. These are things that the biogeometry people talk about. Dr. Ibrahim Kareem, he's got a new book out. You should really look it up. It's totally fascinating. This year, we're going to have a little bit more patience with everybody, but we are going to still need to be very focused in what we do, because the year can be a little bit, because that yin water represents clouds, so we can be cloudy in our thinking. The yin water also represents a fog. We can be foggy in our thinking. So we do need to have clarity. We do need to mind our just simple things that we know we should do.
Back to the self-care.
Back to extreme self-care. 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night. We have to have it this year. We have to. And in period 9 too. Otherwise, we're going to burn up our energy. And I mean that almost literally.
Well, I think when more energy is kind of coming down and available to us, you do need more sleep.
You do. And we do have to get grounded. We have to take our rubber shoes off. Oh, did you hear my knee pop? And actually, stand on the ground or stand on something to get grounded, and or lie on the ground.
You have some other forms of self-care we need to remind people about?
Well, we need to, if we need our friends for emotional support, but if our friends aren't getting it done, we need to, this is also an academic year. It's romance year and academic year. The rabbit holds both of those energies. So we do need to read self-help books. We do need to study and
learn new things
and skills. And I mean that literally. But we also need to seek professionals. We may need to hire somebody to talk to, somebody that can really, because the fire and the spiritual energy can be a little much for some people. There's, and there's already depression, in our young people and in a lot of people. So we do need to mind our mental health very, very much this year. In fact, the energies that I'm dealing with mostly with my clients all have to do with people. This would be health and relationships. Yes, everybody has to have money. We do need to have our jobs. We do need income coming in, and all that will be changing. So let's talk about jobs. So what industries will be good? Well, it's a water year, so shipping is a good industry, but it's the 9 star is coming. It's getting more prominent. So it's the happiness star. So all the happiness products and services. So entertainment business will be very good. Restaurant business will be good. Romance business, dancing, music, concerts.
Weddings.
Exactly.
The wedding industry. Events, yeah.
Yes. And cooking is a fire activity, and being a chef or just taking classes to feed your family better and maybe have some entertainment together would be really fun. And cooking is going to still be in the limelight for the next 20 years because it is a fire activity.
So would activities that bring happiness to people be favored as well? Not just those industries, but don't work in a job that makes you miserable. Like find something that brings your joy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Our emotional state is one of the most important things in this year, 2023. I have to keep reminding it's 2023. It's not 2024 yet. Yes, that's very important. And so let's talk about the different animal signs. Let's see, do I have a handout? Yeah. So for those of you who are born in the year of the dog, the year of the goat, and the year of the rabbit, this is a great year for you. Everything you've sacrificed for is going to pay dividends this year. Thank you. Now, when we do Chinese astrology, we're talking about the animal signs. And most people look up their animal sign on the Chinese restaurant menu. But if you were born in January or before February the 4th, you need to subtract 1 from your year of birth before you look up your animal sign. Is anybody in here born in January or before February the 4th?
I know we have a person in our audience that was born in January.
Okay. So let's say, for example,
January 63.
Okay.
I think is.
So you would have to
or is it 64? 64, January 64.
Yeah, so you would have to subtract 1 from 64. And on my chart that I made, you would have to use 1963 for your year of birth.
So that would be a water rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it would be a rabbit. 63 was a water rabbit. So yes, 60 years ago, we had another water rabbit. There's 5 elements and 12 animals. So 5 times 12 is 60. So it takes 60 years to have another water rabbit year. But it's okay because every 12 years we'll have another rabbit. It just won't be a water rabbit. Might be a fire rabbit, might be earth, might be a wood rabbit.
But we're being paid in dividends this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So if you were born in the year of the rat, the monkey, or the horse, oh boy, this is going to be one of the most epic years of your life. Put the straps on, put all the straps on. It's going to be a roller coaster ride for the rat, love, and money. So woohoo! Love and money.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good. For the monkey, a roller coaster ride with sudden turns. For the horse, you need to focus on personal development. Okay. Then we have the dragon, the tiger, and the snake. And there will be some obstacles. You will need to draw power from within because the power will not be out there in the stars for you. It's a year of spiritual growth. And so every 12 years we have that. Woohoo! It's spiritual growth. And so we have to pull on our own resources and grow up and acknowledge our creativity and how we solve things and acknowledge our inner strength because we do have the inner strength. The dragon and the tiger and the snake are very strong. So those people, if that's you, the dragon, the snake, or the tiger, you do need to practice extreme self-care this year. Now, when I do a Chinese astrology chart, and that's one of the services that I said I would tell you, 2 new services that I was offering my clients in my practice this year is one is Chinese astrology. It's called Bazi, B-A-Z-I, Bazi. Ba means a, Z means characters. Because we don't just have one animal sign in our chart. We have our year of birth that has an animal, and our month of birth has another animal, or it could be the same. And our day of birth has an animal, and the hour of birth has an animal. So you could have up to 4 animals in your chart. So if you already know your 4 animals, you can also read the other animals in this handout that I'm giving you to see what your prospects are. And it's a little bit different. The handout that I'm giving you talks about your year of birth because that's what most people know. But if you have, let's say you're a rabbit in your year of birth, but you're a rat in your day of birth, it's a little bit different interpretation of the animal sign. So the year of birth represents your public, your networking groups, all of your friends, and what the public sees. They see, oh yeah, she's the rat, or she's the rabbit. She's all cuddly and everything. And then the month of birth represents what kind of animal you are at work, which could be totally different. And those people know you a little bit more because they work with you every day. They know your rhythms and your ups and downs, and they know if you're a morning person or not. And if you missed your morning coffee or your donut or whatever, they can tell. And then there's the day of birth, and that represents yourself. That represents your health, your relationship with your spouse, and personal things. And only people that live with you 24/7 may know these things. And within all of these animal signs, there's a lot of hidden energy that we talk about whenever we do a chart for somebody. The hour of birth represents your children. So the year of birth are your grandparents. The month of birth represents the relationship you have with your parents. And the day of birth represents the relationship you have with yourself and your spouse and your peers and your, cousins. And your hour of birth represents your children, the relationship you have with them, and also your nieces and nephews. And at work, it represents your juniors, or if you're the teacher, it represents your students, that kind of thing. It also represents your investments. So when I do a chart for somebody, we're talking a lot about the day master. Your day of birth is the most important thing because it's based, it is the one thing in the chart that all the other animals are compared to. And whatever element you have, whether it's fire or earth or metal or water, or what was the other one, wood, everything in your chart is relating to that.
So for example, like a day one, would that animal is what?
There's 10 different day masters. So it depends. You can't just say a day one. It's not numerology.
I mean, no, like the first of a month, right?
Right.
Is it not? It's not that way.
No, it's not the same.
Oh.
No, because first of all, the months are different lengths. Yeah, so it's not the same. So
sounds like an involved process, but
very,
I guess if you want to go deeper,
it's very fun to know because your day master describes who you are. Okay, so I was doing somebody's chart today, and it's a woman, and she is Yang Earth. Okay, and that means the mountain. And so she's very, very, very strong. So she just, can a mountain get up and move?
Not very quickly.
No. So that person, when you're describing them, you describe them as very, very stable. On the negative side, obstinate. Okay. But we also call this 4 pillars of destiny. Your 4 pillars of year, month, day, and hour of birth. Those are 4 pillars. So I'll call it 4 pillars. It's easier to hear than the Chinese name, Batsa. Because people go, what did you say?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And so when I do a consultation, that's the very first thing I find out. Well, who are you? Who am I talking to? Because everybody wants to be treated differently. They want to be treated the way they want to be treated. So we can tell what your love language is based on which element is because there's 5 elements and 5 love languages. And we can actually tell what's your favorite, how do you want to be loved? We can also tell what your superpowers are when you were born, because when you were born, you were gifted all of these talents and strengths and gifts and tools to use to build your life. And so we call these your superpowers. Well, your powers. But the top 3, there's 10 of them. The top 3 we call your superpowers. So then I will describe what are your superpowers. And those are the tools that you use to build your life. It's like your operating tool. So your day master is who you are, and then you have your operating tools. And then I really specialize right now. For the last couple of years, I've been learning, taking classes, because last year was an academic year for the rat. That was me. And so what I studied last year will go through the next 20 years. So I'm specializing on finding your superpowers and finding your day master and describing who you are, because a lot of people in the last few years have lost touch with who they are. Because they didn't have their stable routine anymore. They didn't go to the office and see the same people anymore. Suddenly they were ostracized from their family, from their friends.
A lot of isolation.
A lot of isolation, and people went nuts because they didn't know what their center was and what are your needs, what do you have to have in order to be you. And so we don't judge any of the characteristics of any of the day masters, because if you're supposed to be obstinate, you need to be obstinate. If you're not obstinate and you are a yang earth person, you need to become obstinate, or else you're not living up to your potential. Because we count on everybody being exactly who they are, of course, on the positive side. So I specialize in that, and then also in relationships, because I'm a Libra. I'm talking about love all the time. That's what I like to talk about, and beauty and all that. So I specialize in that, and also career, because a lot of people don't know which direction they should go, because the job market has changed drastically, and just the market out there, the financial market, the economic market, the whole world, moving goods and products and services to and fro has all changed. So people really are having questions about, where do I fit in, especially the older generation. That would be me. And but even younger people, because the jobs that they went to college for may not be there in period 9. So
go back and get your education.
Well,
but figure out what direction, being in tune with.
We can tell that in your astrology chart. What are you built for? And it's okay to have a job that you're not built for just to pay the bills. That's okay. But then you need a side gig that brings that fulfillment and brings that creativity, and you feel fully human when you do it. We do need that, because otherwise we can be used and abused by the system that just, is a economic system. So
I think that's what the last, I don't know how many cycles have been. Exactly. For so many people.
Yeah. And we're going in totally new direction. We're going into a spiritual direction. We have to talk about these things.
I was just thinking about that phrase, soulless corporations.
There you go.
Yes. And that
chills when you
period is just ending. And yeah, we're having to have that spiritual connection with who we are and what we do.
Did I even finish the last 3 animals? I don't think I did. Okay, if you are the ox, the rooster, and the pig, you are the healers for 2023. People will be seeking you out. And I mean, whether you have that as the ox, rooster, pig as your year of birth, or anywhere in your chart, people will be coming to you, and they're going to need help from you, but you will be equipped to help them. The ox has a spiritual growth and needs to find a new center. The rooster clashes with the rabbit this year. So the rooster is the one that's most under attack this year. So if you have the rooster in your chart, extreme self-care. I don't know what that word is other than that, but yeah. So what it means is, it's not negative. What it means is, things are going to change around here. It has to change. And I'll tell you how to do it. To have a great year, if you're a rooster, and if you have rooster anywhere in your chart, you figure out, or just look in the sky and go, oh, I'm going to do this year. In other words, you need to make a change. So if you're proactive in making the change, and you tell the year what you're going to do, the year will not force you to change. That's a strategy. It's very easy. It's called going with the flow. We need to do that. But a lot of people are in the left side of the brain, and they think, but I need to do this, and this. So an example of this would be somebody who's in the IT business, they're a programmer. Sit there all day by themselves in front of the device. I have lots of people in my life that do that. But then the year goes, nope, you're going to make a change. And so they go completely different. Now they're on social media and YouTube and, they're an influencer. So that is what I'm talking about. Not change jobs from one programming to another job that does more programming. No. When we say change, we mean different direction, 180 degrees.
More in alignment with
who you are.
Who you are.
Yes.
So wouldn't you say that change is a big part of every animal for this year? I mean,
yes.
this is a year of big change and transition, right?
Right. Big transition. Yes. Business as usual will not work. And if you're upset, it's because you haven't changed enough yet.
So we're going to have to let go of the things that do not work.
Things will not be the same. Things are not the same. And they will not be the same ever again, because we're going into a total new energy. We're going into that fire energy. It's a fire. So it's kind of exciting because it is like a roller coaster ride. We don't know when the next dip is coming that will take our breath away. So it's very important that you keep your health and you keep your sanity and you keep your friends, because we're all in this together and we are going to figure it out. Now, yes, there are going to be some, unfortunate things that happen. 60 years ago, we had another water rabbit year. So everybody can Google this. I'm not going to go into it. What happened in 1963? It's very interesting. You can say, okay, what happened in 1963 in politics? What happened in 1963 in medicine? What about the job market? What about the weather?
That's the things I can think of is that was when Kennedy was shot.
Yes.
I think that's when we went to the moon.
Yes.
There was a lot of significant a lot of significant things happening.
Yeah, we went out of this world. Okay. If that's not a change enough for you, well, so a lot of people have never had it because it takes 60 years to go through this. A lot of people have never had a change like that before. So it is breathtaking, yes. A lot of people, they will only go through consciously a new 20-year period. This is my third one consciously. But so this is an abrupt change for them too, even though they may be only in their 20s. This is still an abrupt change for them. What about the pig? Wealth-making opportunities. Oh, I thought Kendari was going to be here tonight. I think she got pig in her chart or something.
Is she a pig?
Okay, it's very exciting. Yeah. So with your animal signs, we can tell all kinds of things. We can tell you whether you should work with the public, whether you should work on social media, or whether you could start your own business. There are indications in your 4 pillars that say whether you can handle being your own boss, whether you can push your own go button and get things done, or if you'll thrive better with somebody else. That kind of thing. Okay, so enough about that. Any questions?
So do we have any questions kind of on the overview of the year for the water rabbit, general feng shui? So let me ask you this. I have a Chinese sister-in-law, and she recommended that because I am a water rabbit that I need to wear, red. And I had some other Chinese person tell me the same thing. So is that just...
Well, I'm not a Chinese person culturally, even though I study it. So there are things that we do, let's call it on the mundane level. And then there are things that we do on the transcendental level. So I think that would be under the transcendental. It's like, it may not be reasonable it's out of reason, you know, and it's on the right side of the brain, which is not reasonable. It's creative. And yeah, so that could work. And yes, my Asian clients want to know, should I wear the dog this year? That's a good sign to wear if you're under attack by the energy of the year. Yep, it's not a bad plan.
Okay.
I mean, whatever works for you.
Right.
I use a lot of prayer and blessing in my work. I use a lot of dowsing. And so I change the energies that way for myself. Yeah. But that's a good question. Do we have any questions out there in Zoom land?
Or any here?
Okay. All right. The other thing I want to talk to you about is, so I talked to you about Feng Shui and the energies that were changing, and talk to you about Chinese astrology. And now I want to talk to you a little bit about.
Hey, I do have a question. So since it's a water year, it makes me wonder, do we think there'll be more water events this year?
Yeah. Yeah. But I quit talking about the weather because the masters all say, okay, this year has no fire energy. Even though next year we begin the fire cycle, this year has no fire. We just have no fire. So, you know, health-wise, the fire on the Bagua represents blood flow and the eyes and the heart. So because we have no fire, if you already have high blood pressure or problems with your heart or problems with your eyes, you may want to really watch that this year. So that's one thing I'll say about that. As far as the weather goes, we also have no earth. So there will be earth eruptions like volcanoes, and that's
the big earthquake
fire
that was in Turkey recently.
Yes,
Yeah, in Syria.
Yes, things like that. Yeah, that happens. So you could go back and Google in 1963 what happened, and also find out what parts of the country are affected, because we do put the Bagua map on top of the United States map, and we find where the different energies are for the year. Now, I will go ahead and tell you that the fraud, robbery, and gossip, slander star is in the Northeast, where our capital is.
Is anybody surprised at that?
So you can expect some of that this year.
But does that mean that that'll come to light? Probably, yeah.
Yeah, because the fire shine, it's a light.
Okay.
It does light that up and expand it, and we'll deal with it for the next 20 years. It'll be fun. All right, so I wanted to talk to you about, one more thing that I just think it's fun. I like some of these just fun, odd facts. So, good news. I have good news for everybody.
We want good news.
Chubby is the new beauty standard. Yes.
We're moving back to Rubenesque style appreciation of beauty. Okay.
Skinny is out. Now, there's a big difference between fat and chubby. So if you're fat, you might want to slim down to chubby, but you don't have to go all the way down to slim. Because beauty and cosmetics and the whole beauty industry will be huge in period 9. So, of course, it's huge this year, too, because we're in a transition to period 9. So those of you who are in the beauty business, you might want to ramp things up and start making new products and new services. And by the way, if you're in the helping industry, if you're a healer, people will need more counseling in the next 10 to 20 years. People will need more
healing of trauma.
Yes, more mental help, well, what's the word? We need to study more about all of that and how to take care of our mind and all that. Yeah, we'll need help with that. Yeah.
I know there are quite a few healers in the group, so
yes.
That's the good news.
Okay, now I have some bad news.
Okay.
There's 2 animals this year that are going to be prone to be the fattest. The rat and the pig. Sorry, Jan. Me too. I know. Now, let me just tell you. But everybody else, the good news is everybody, we will handle the fat this year. But everybody else, it's a year for you. It will be very easy to slim down. Why? Because we have no earth in the year. So that means digestion is not there. We're not going to digest all those calories. So earth is like ox, fat tummy ox, So it's around your belly, baby.
I think of it as grounding and holding space,
And it's stuck there. Yeah, but we don't have that this year. So go ahead, you can lose weight this year. Everybody except the rat and the pig. Now, here's why we will get fat. If we find the rabbit or the pig in our year of birth, we will get fat because we are going to parties, we are out networking, we're going to meetings, and they serve the best cookies you've ever had. It's because we will be out there, okay? If you have the rat or the pig in your month of birth, it will be because you are stressed out, and it will be stress eating. It's because you will be working, and you're not preparing your meals. You're going to just be fast food on the way home. So that's good news, actually, because you can prepare for that. You can do meal prep for the whole year.
Back for that self-care.
For the whole week. Excuse me. I meant for the whole week. Yeah, you can do meal prep on the weekend for your week.
Maybe you'll meet a new chef who will. You never know.
And then if you have the rat or the pig in your day of birth, it's because, now, this is really good news. It's because you're going to be so darn happy. You're just going to eat. You're just going to get bored all the time. You're just like, yes. And then if you have it in, this one's funny. If you have the rat or the pig in your hour of birth, you're going to be eating because you just can't get pizza off your mind. You're going to be dreaming about it, chocolate, milkshakes. It's going to be like you have a fantasy relationship with food this year. So anyway, that's a little esoteric, something we can find out that's fun on your energy charts. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about, I already talked a little bit about the energy. Where did I put my pendulum?
There it is.
Yeah. So for those of you who do, dowsing, I've been dowsing, I don't know, for 30 years or whatever. But every year I try to get smarter and do less work and be more effective in what I do. And so what I've learned from the energy, just studying energy, is that as dowsers or healers, we are actually looking for things and we're dowsing about them, or we're actually getting in the energy and making our dowsing rods go open when we run over the energy, let's say geopathic stress zones in your living room or whatever. But when we do that, we are actually attuning ourselves to feel those energies so that our body responds with our dowsing tool, with our pendulum or our dowsing rod or our bob or whatever we're using, or our hands or our body. So we then resonate with that energy, and that's not a good thing. because first thing you know, if you do it long enough, you get comfortable with that energy. And then you kind of seek it out. You feel quite comfortable in this negative, discordant energy. And that's not a good thing. So I have pulled back in trying to find that discordant energy. And I have said, I know it's there. It's there. It's just there. So on the way to a client's house, I may do a clearing in a prayer or before I leave the house, so I don't walk into that energy. So I wanted you all to know that that's possible. You can do that because when you get there, you can then say, before I did the clearing, show me the discordant energy in this bedroom, and you can find it. It's not there anymore, but you're accessing past information. So you're accessing its trail, so to speak. I like doing that because then when I go home, I don't have to detox so much.
Okay, so let me just clarify. So instead of doing present tense, asking for to be shown the discordant energy, you already do a clearing before you get there, and then say you're clearing the space of a room or a home or something, then it show me the discordant energy, but you're talking about the past.
You actually have to say, if you just say in present time, show me the discordant energy, you won't find any because you already cleared it. So you have to say, show me the discordant energy. Let's go back 2 hours ago. Show me the discordant energy. Then you'll find it.
Okay.
But I've even stopped doing that.
Right. What would the point of that be? I mean, I guess
the point of it is to show the client it was there, it's no longer there, and to teach them how to fix it. Mm-hmm. And I say to them, okay, you want to know how I fixed it? And they went, yes. Okay, here's how you do it. So, you just do the prayer and blessing. I put my hand out. I found it, so I'm conscious of where it is. I don't have to step in it. I can do it from a distance. I can actually do it, on the phone or over Zoom or whatever. And so enhance and increase the beneficial energies and balance any discordant energies.
I feel like I need to write that down.
Well, it's you can use Joey Korn's prayer.
Oh, okay.
Any prayer.
And you can find, we did an interview with him, and it should be on our YouTube channel or Facebook.
Yes. So I've studied with him and I like his prayer. But what I do for the Feng Shui energies is I will add something to that prayer to handle the Feng Shui. And the way I do it is to say, let this prayer repeat according to the Chinese Feng Shui solar calendar. Every minute, every hour, every day, every month, every year. For as long as these people reside in this building, this home, or own this property. And that is kind of a spiritual housekeeping tool that I add to the prayer and blessing, because life is getting so complicated and going so fast, and so many people need help. I can't be there, on the spur of the moment anymore like they used to. And so I teach them how to just do it, okay? And then just clear it for good. And so that's what I do to my house, so that I wake up. I don't want to have to wake up and go, okay, this reminds me of Emily, my cat, brought in a lizard the other night, alive. And so I'm freaking out, and I get the Kleenex. And, they're easy to catch because they freeze when they see that you see them, they just freeze. So I pounced on it, but I got its tail, which broke off. And then the other part of the lizard, of course, they grow their tail back. But now I'm left with a cold-blooded animal that's seeking warmth. And the warmest part of my home is my bed. I couldn't sleep Sunday night. I'm calling everybody.
So did you do your prayer?
Yes, of course. Yes. Okay, but I'll tell you what else I did. Okay, I used an energy circle. Okay, an energy circle is a closed system. So you actually can just take a piece of paper and draw a circle. It does not have to be perfect. And make sure the two ends of the circle meet. Now it's a closed energy system. You put your name inside the circle and you put the lizard outside the circle. And then you set that energy circle anywhere in the house. It doesn't matter. So this works long distance too. So
it's a form of protection.
It's a form of protection. Yeah.
So someone can draw a piece of circle on a paper, write their name inside, and whatever they don't want to be at the effect of, they write that on the outside of the circle. And that's, I guess you can set it up for whatever amount of time you need.
Until the lizard is, or infinity, whichever comes first.
Or whatever's next. Yes.
Okay. So I did have a client that called me during the day, and this is my really, really busy time of year because Chinese New Year and everybody's wanting the annual update to their homes, is because the energies in each room of your home shift a little bit according to the year. So every year on February 4th or the 5th or the 6th, depending on what year it is, at a certain time, the energies shift for the year. And so I just go once a year to my client's home and we do an update. It's like, okay, the prosperity chi is no longer at the front door, it's somewhere else. And so we shift a little bit. And the sickness chi is over here. And so, we'll do an adjustment. So anyway, it was very busy, and someone called with a health issue and that I thought was serious. And I was like, I'm exhausted. I can't do it. Can I have a number for this condition? And it was like, okay, how can I help this person? So I just took a piece of paper and drew a circle. I was so tired. The first circle went off the page. I was like, okay, I can't use that one. Start over. Draw a circle, put the person's name in there. And now I'm going to tell you about numbers. So we're going to talk about the numbers that express different frequencies that a human is born with. So we have over 1 million, according to Lloyd Meir, who designed this system, of frequencies that keep us safe from viruses and bacteria and all kinds of stuff. We have he says everything is energy and it can be expressed in mathematics. And he was a dowser, and he dowsed these numbers that if you lose these frequencies you're born without them, or you lose them through trauma or something, you can just incorporate those numbers into your system and get it back. You can get that energy back, that frequency back. So, he developed over 6,000 numbers. So, but I mean, it's a book this thick with 6,000 numbers. Can you find me a number for this? It's like, no. So what I did was I put the whole book in the circle. Said a prayer, dear God, pick the numbers that pertain to this person. I put their name, and everything, and I said a prayer and whatever. And then a few hours later, I got a text and they gave me a progress report, and things were progressing
in a positive way.
In a positive direction. Yeah, until I could get there. So that's another way we have to do what I call spiritual multitasking now, and use more spiritual tools so that we don't have to do earthly tools when we can't get to the earthly tools.
Well, we're multidimensional beings, so it's just part of using our super ordinary
exactly.
abilities.
Yeah. And then when you can get to it, yeah, then you sit down. So anyway, so I've been studying for the last few years Lloyd Mears' method of balancing with numbers. And so that's another service that I'm now offering to my clients. I've been experimenting with it for a few years now. My personal experience is that I had a really bad Feng Shui issue in my home that I wasn't aware of. And it was what we call a poison arrow. It was I don't know, it was the ceiling and the air conditioning duct and the living room and the dining room all come together to this point. And I bought a beautiful new chair, and I just love my new chair, and I would sit there for hours a day just loving my new chair. And that thing was about 5 feet from this side of my neck. And after a few days, I got this horrible pain here. And I went to the chiropractor 3 times and paid hundreds of dollars. And I'm still crying. And I'm not a dramatic person. I don't cry very often, but I was crying even after 3 visits to the chiropractor. So I was talking to my best friend that I had told her to get this book too. And she said, we have a number for that, Catherine. I forgot. We have a number for each vertebra. So I said, I can't dowse, you dowse, find me the number. She gave me the number. I started saying it. And this is one way that we can incorporate the number, is to say the number. Repeat it, repeat it. So I said it until I was hoarse. It took about 5 minutes for me to get hoarse from saying the number. And then I started writing the number. It was about 16 digits long, just wrote the number. And then a few minutes later, my neck just went, and I got an adjustment, and it was like, okay, thank you, it's gone. So it was a miracle. So I'm going to give you a few numbers tonight because I want you to have an experience of a number, not that one. These numbers are copywritten.
Do we need to dowse something beforehand to kind of see like a maybe where we are on the scale and the I think you put it up here. To see the benefit is how can our viewers
so what I do when there's lots of different ways you can do this, and Lloyd said we can make up our own numbers. So this is why I'm talking about this in this class, this presentation. And
getting my dowse.
We're creative beings, so we can say, is there a number? So his system was built. So his thinking was, some people go their whole life and they never have cancer, and then some people have cancer. So he asked with the pendulum, is there a number that people who never get cancer in their lifetime have, that people who do get cancer don't have? Yes. May I have the number? Yes. Well, how many digits does it have? 5 or more? Yes. 6 or more? Anyway, 16 digits. I'm just making this up. I don't have a number in mind. And so he goes, okay, what's the first digit? And then so that's how he got all these thousands of numbers. So
but what a great way to start questioning, right? We can apply those questions to a lot of things.
Right. So that's when I'm dowsing for my clients. I ask them, why'd you call? What's going on? And they go, okay, this, and this. And I go, and I write it down. I start a Word document for them, put their name, put their birthday, and I say, focus. This is what we're focusing on today. But that's the end of what I believe from my client, because I'm now going to dowse on their behalf, and I ask permission. Can I, may I, should I dowse for numbers for this person? And I get yes, yes, yes. And I always have a bottle of water with me so I stay hydrated, because when you're dowsing, you are using your electromagnetic energy in the human body. to have muscle responses that then move the pendulum. Your body moves and it makes the pendulum move in certain ways. So then I just asked, okay, is this a priority for today's session? And I'll get a yes or a no. Whatever they told me, I asked, is this a priority? Most of the time it is a priority, but sometimes it's like, that's not the issue. What's the priority for today? And I just follow the energy. And then, you know, I made me some cheat sheets for the book because there's 7,000 numbers in there. So it's like, okay, here's a list in column A, here's a list in column B, in rows. And I go, is there a number that Katherine is missing, that if she had it, would solve this issue? Yes. And then I go, where should I find the number? Show me the number. Is it in column A? Is it in column B? Is it row 1, row 3? And that's how I get there. But I'm showing you this because you don't have the book, or you may not want to hire somebody to do this, but you can do it yourself. So and I'm saying this is not just a physical thing. If you have an emotional issue, if you can't sleep, if you lose weight, if you can't digest your food, if you're depressed, whatever it is, you can say, is there a number that people who don't have this, they have that number and I don't have it? Yes. Okay, may I know the number? Yeah, do I have permission to have the number? I want to say, give me this. But you do have to douse the number out. How many digits do you have? I mean, does that number have? And then I start dowsing by saying.
So you're saying even if you don't have the book, you can ask these series of questions and douse what the number is, so that you can get, the beneficial number.
Yeah. So you will come up with a number that's probably unique to you. And so I have come up with a few numbers that were not in the book. And then I asked, would this number apply to other people? Yes. Most of the time, yes, it would. So then I give the number a name, so that next time somebody else might need that number, and now it's in my list and I can douse for it.
Create like a program. So can you give our viewers a number that would be beneficial?
How about one to increase your confidence and ability and accuracy in dowsing? Would you like that number?
Yeah.
I thought you might want that number.
We're getting a yes.
Okay, let me find it.
Now, once someone has this number, they can say it out loud. They can read it. They can write it
out loud. There's lots of different ways to incorporate a number, but Lloyd said before dowsing, especially if you're going to be with a client or you have an important question, you want to be accurate in your dowsing. Say it 7 times, and then you've incorporated it.
So it's not like they have to keep repeating it. They can just, you say it 7 times out loud, and it can, I guess, anchor the energy. They're right by your shoe.
Sorry, guys. This little rat needs glasses. Okay, improved dowsing. The number is 9, 6, 5, 9, 4, 4, 7, 6, 5, 8, 6.
Okay, I'm going to type that in our chat.
Best I can. I just say 9, 6, 5, 9, 4, 4, 7, 6, 5, 8, 6. 9, 6, 5, 9, 4, 4, 7, 6, 5, 8, 6. You can dance the number. You can sing the number. You can sit on the number. You can put the number in your pocket. There's lots of different things that you can do to get that number in you.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. There's another number for muscle testing. And this is to make you accurate in your muscle testing. And the kind of muscle testing that I do is the finger test. So strong, I'm trying hard to pull apart, is a yes. And weak is no. That's how I do it. Here's a number to improve your muscle testing ability. 6, 8, 4, 6, 5, 7, 4, 8, 3, 6, 9. I'll say it one more time. Okay. 6, 8, 4, 6, 5, 7, 4, 8, 3, 6, 9. Now, I will tell you a hack. This is the Katherine Ashby hack, okay? When you get a whole page full of numbers, you douse for yourself. You know, you want your skin to look better, and you want your belly to go down, and you want to sleep better, and you want to have your imagination expand, whatever. You get a whole page full of numbers, and there's no limit. I haven't found a limit as to how many numbers we can have in our energy field and incorporate them at any one time. I don't think there is one, but I got tired of saying the numbers. And some of the numbers will take, Lloyd says you need to say the numbers 7 times, 3 times a day for 2 or 3 weeks to be sure that you've incorporated that number in your energy field fully, completely, and permanently. Then you don't have to say the number anymore. There are some numbers that we tend to, because we're stressed out or whatever, that keep what we call, he calls it leaking out. So then you might have to say them again. Okay, here's my hack. This is not, Lloyd did not bless this hack. Nobody did, I made it up. But it works for me. I doused and it works for me. I say the number, and then after the number I say times 90. I used to say, how many times must my clients say this number before they have it completely, fully, and permanently installed in their being? And I would douse it out and I'd go, okay, 35 times. So it might take a few days. But after a while, I thought, he said you cannot overdose on these numbers. So it's like when the glass is full, no more water can go in. When you have the number, you can say it. It doesn't matter. It's not overdosing, because we are not working on the physical level. We are working in the energy level, your energetic field only. So I thought, well, shoot. One time somebody needed the number 90 times, and I thought, okay, everybody's getting the number 90 times. I just tell my clients to say after every number times 90. And then the body hears, she said that 90 times. And the body, so what it is, the number is an intention. The body hears the intention and makes the adjustment. That's Lloyd's explanation.
Okay, we have a question here. Let's see. Sandy, unmute yourself.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can, and I'm going to repeat it to Katherine.
Okay, 2 things. One, look at my sky, and the stars at night are magnificent. So if you need some good sky, come out to Arizona. This is
yes, that's Sandy, and she's saying, look at her sky. She said, if y'all need some beautiful sky, come out to Arizona. That's her view right there. So thank you.
Okay. The other thing is using Lloyd's number, and I do have his book. Realize when I teach basic dowsing and I do a magnet broadcast, I teach people how to get number for whatever the issue is. So an additional thing you could put into your protocol, Katherine, is to do a magnet broadcast with that and a witness of hair or something with somebody. And then you've got that covered as well.
Okay, let me see if I can repeat that. So Sandy also teaches basic dowsing and Lloyd Mirror, and her hack is that How did you say that, Sandy?
The magnet broadcasting from
But
the,
you can use
remember
the magnet
broadcasting from
the
the
magnet
basic
broadcasting.
Oh,
put that number in there. And then one more piece you may remember from basic dowsing, when I taught people how to get their numbers for a particular issue, is the number may be to a certain level, like squared.
The number may be to a certain level, like squared, or
to the power of 6 or something,
to the power
like
of 6 or power of 10.
To make it even more precise.
To make it even more precise. Now, the magnet method, just for those of that don't know, you want to say what that is?
No,
she can.
Okay.
I'll teach it because
I can't.
Okay. She's going to teach it.
Okay, good.
She offers a dowsing class. So yes, but that's a great reminder. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
So what I do is I make a Word document with all these numbers that I'm giving my client, the number and the name. And then I make it 5.5 point. So it's teeny weeny. You can't really read it without your magnifying glass. And then I print it out, and they can paste that number on their picture. So that 24/7, I'm always looking for the easy road.
Right.
So rather than sitting there for 45 minutes saying all of my numbers 7 times, I just put in my picture, and it's 7. I never say the numbers anymore.
Got it. Or someone could put it in the circle too.
Or you can put it in the circle. Yes, absolutely.
Or under the glass of water.
Yes.
Lots of ways.
A glass of water and drink it. Or you can, while you're watching TV, you can put your hand on the numbers, but make sure the first digit is going into your body on the left-hand side.
Okay, that's great. We let's have, we're about 5 minutes from the end. So do we have another number that you want to?
Yes, I have another number for you. For people who can't focus, and this is a lot of people, and I'm talking about all the children who can't focus, they're scattered, their energy is everywhere. Lloyd said they're mostly in the the 6th dimension, which is a chaotic dimension. And this is the number 6th dimension, eliminate. So a lot of teachers will write this number on their blackboard or whiteboard and just have it available in the class. And because it's in the children's space, they don't need to say the number, it's in the space.
Mm-hmm.
The children are in the space of this frequency, and it works. So, and I have permission, all the numbers that I'm giving you tonight, I ask permission to give them out publicly. So that's why I'm able to do it. Okay, the number is, it's long, so give yourself some room. 6857 3658 3882 4642. You want to print it on there?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time.
Okay.
6857 3658 3882 4642.
Okay, and that's
the reason when I teach something, I always start at the level of the person who taught it to me. I start, whatever they told me, I will tell you. Then I will tell you my hacks or how I do it different, because I want to keep the integrity of the teaching in the line. And then you're welcome to do whatever you want with it, because we're all creative beings, and we can create faster ways. Like Sandy, she has the magnet way and different ways, and I just love that.
So and people can douse for themselves, you know, would this number be beneficial for me for my focus?
That's what I do.
Right,
yeah.
all of that.
Now sometimes your dowsing will say, you know, if you say, okay, is there a number for her high blood pressure? Because there are hundreds of numbers for high blood pressure, let me just tell you. Or there are hundreds of numbers for bacterial infection. I mean, So there's pages and pages. So you have to find the number. So sometimes you find a number and you really have to be careful what the question is. You know, I like to say a statement rather than a question. Okay. I like to say, show me the number that Katherine is missing on this page. And to me, that's faster. Just show me the number that's missing. Then when I find the number that's missing, I say, if they had that number, how beneficial would it be for Katherine? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's like 0. I don't want to give them the number. They're missing the number, but it's not going to benefit them. So I don't waste their time, my time, whatever. I move on. An interesting story. One of my clients had a rent car, and it smelled terrible in that car. And she had to drive it every day, and it was making her nauseous. So she asked me if there was a number for that. And so I dowsed, and it took me to the 12th dimension. That we have a number for that. And so I gave her the number. She said, this is one of my best clients. She will get those numbers. She takes her pen and she traces the number. When I give her the number, even though I'm typing it out so I can give her a document, she's writing it down. So kinesthetically, she's getting the number. And then every day, she reads it 7 times, but while she's doing it, she also writes it again, tracing it. Anyway, so I asked her, how did it go? And she said, well, she says, it doesn't bother me. She said, I don't know that the smell went away, but the smell doesn't bother me. And I dowsed about it. It was, yeah, when you're in the 12th dimension, odors do not bother. Yeah.
Is it safe to be driving in the 12th dimension?
Well, it's a healing dimension. And okay. Many of us who are healers or work with energies every day, that's where we're comfortable operating. And it's an okay dimension. You have to, but a lot of people are in the 6th dimension, which is very chaotic. So you just bring them back down to the 5th dimension. Most of the people in this United States or, you know, the Western world are in the 5th dimension. But we're slowly moving into the 6th and 7th, but those are not stable yet. And so it's all kinds of static. People can't sleep. They can't get grounded. They're fuzzy. They're upset all the time. So
there's a number for that.
There is a number for that. There are so many interesting numbers.
Right. Yeah. We definitely have tools. So before we kind of wrap up, is there any questions that anybody's got? Any last minute questions you want to ask for Miss Katherine? If you do, you can type it in the chat.
Thank you all for being here. It was fun to be with you and see your smiling faces out there.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is there any parting words of wisdom? And that we hit all the highlights of.
Well, I always just want to empower you. Take what I've said, take what every teacher said, and run with it, and create more, and expand it, and refine it, and tweak it to make it work for you faster, because period 9 is very fast. How fast does fire spread? Very fast. So anything we can do to make our life easier, because we're going to need to have time to gaze at the clouds.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And self-care.
And self-care. So those are my parting words.
So thank you so much. And
let me just say one more thing. Yeah. Okay. So not everybody's going to hire a Feng Shui consultant. So if you're a dowser, get your pendulum out and say, are there any energies this year that are discordant in my home because new Feng Shui year? If you get a yes, you go, okay, is it this room? Is it the bathroom? Is it the bedroom? Is it this room? And just find it, you know, and then just balance it. Say a prayer, balance it, or pendulum counterclockwise to
clear or neutralize.
Clear or neutralize, but I never do that, y'all. Okay, it's another one of my hacks. I never go counterclockwise because my wording is always enhance and increase beneficial energy and balance discordant energy. So the word balance is not a negative. You're not taking anything out, you're balancing it. That's a positive. So my pendulum always goes to clockwise.
Okay, say that again. Enhance and increase.
Those are my words. I got them from Joey Korn. Enhance and increase beneficial energies and balance discordant energies. I used to say detrimental, and now I say discordant.
Yeah, that feels a broader spectrum.
Because in the energy world, everything is measured from the human being's point of view. Okay. So if you're working with people that have pets, I do say for cats, except for the places where the cat already likes to sleep, leave that spot alone. Because cats are attracted to energy that is
we would consider discordant
for humans, but it's not discordant for the cat. So if you balance the whole house, your cat is not going to be happy and you're going to have an unhappy cat. We don't want that.
No.
Don't worry about the dog because the dog sleeps in the same good energy that the humans do.
Okay, that is great. And if people want to so you do Feng Shui consulting, you'll do Lord Mirror consulting.
No, I don't call it Lord Mirror anymore because
you've adapted your version.
Yeah.
Working with the numbers.
Well, it's not that. It's just that he brings in a certain energy. And so I want it just to be the numbers.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway,
Well, tell people what you do. So just you can, how about that?
I can do Feng Shui long distance. If you send me a compass measurement from your iPhone or whatever compass you had, and your address, and I can do the consultation for your Chinese astrology, your 4 pillars of destiny. I make a document for you. You text me your info, I make a document, and I send it to you, and then we talk over the phone about it. It's real fun. And then for the numbers, the first time we can do that over the phone too. But if you're here in Houston, I like to be in person. I'm just that way. I'm a person. Anyway, I like the warm, fuzzy type, but my business is going more and more
virtual.
It has to, period of time. Okay.
Changing, learning, growing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it takes about an hour and a half to do the first session because I check all the chromosomes, all the basic numbers, all the nutrition, everything a normal person is supposed to have, because a lot of times whatever focus that you wanted to do for the session goes away simply by doing the basics. So then we don't have to do that anymore. So it takes about an hour and a half to do the first session, but then other sessions are just about an hour.
Okay, great. And
only do those it takes about 2 or 3 weeks for you to get the numbers incorporated. So,
and how do you like people to contact you?
Send me an email, the word together, and then the number 8@gmail.com.
Okay.
The word together is a switch word, and it means all together we can handle this.
See if I can type that in there with my one finger. So, okay.
Together 8@gmail.com, or you can text me, call me, but not at night. I'm not a night person. I get up about 4:30 in the morning because I'm excited about life at that hour. I don't know why. And I do my dowsing and I study and dance, all kinds of things. But anyway, you can call me or text me, but not after, like, if it's after 9 o'clock, I'm going to be annoyed.
Send an email. All right. I'm going to wrap up. Thank you so much. And thanks everybody for tuning in. And if you're in the future, enjoy.
Bye-bye.